For the 8th day of Politimas, we will be going over some third-party candidates who got a lot of attention during presidential elections throughout American history. Some honorable mentions are Martin Van Buren, who ran as a member of the Free Soil Party in 1848. He got 10.1% of the popular vote. Millard Fillmore ran a part of the Know Nothing Party in 1856, and he won the state of Maryland and got 8 electoral votes. He did not come close to winning, though. James Weaver ran as a nominee of the Populist Party in 1892, and he won 5 states: Idaho, Nevada, Colorado, Nebraska, and North Dakota, and he got 22 electoral votes from that. Robert La Follette ran as a nominee of his own Progressive Party that wasn't affiliated with Theodore Roosevelt's Progressive Party, to only win his home state of Wisconsin. He did get a significant amount of the popular vote, however, getting 16.6%. The first election that we will be talking about had 2 significant third-party candidates. This is the election of 1912. Theodore Roosevelt originally ran for the Republican Party nomination. Roosevelt got a lot more votes compared to the incumbent President William Howard Taft, and that meant that Roosevelt should have been the Republican nomination. The delegates at the RNC picked a Taft supporter as the chairman of the convention, which meant that Taft ended up being the Republican nominee. This enraged Roosevelt and his supporters, so they created their own party. You either know it as the Progressive Party or the Bull Moose Party. They nominated Roosevelt as their nominee, obviously. There was also another third party that got a lot of votes in this election, and that party was the Socialist Party. They nominated Eugene Debs as their choice in the 1912 election. The Democrats nominated Woodrow Wilson as their nominee. Woodrow Wilson ended up winning this election because of the split Roosevelt caused to the Republican Party. A lot of the Republican vote went to Roosevelt's Progressive Party, but not all of it did, which is why Wilson won a lot easier. The Socialist also didn't split that much of the Democrat vote, so Debs' impact was basically meaningless. Debs didn't win any states, but he got 6% of the popular vote. Roosevelt won 6 states: Washington, California, South Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. That got him 88 electoral votes. Wilson got 435 electoral votes, mostly because of the split vote from progressives and Republicans. In the 1948 election, Southern Democrats didn't like incumbent President Harry Truman's support of civil rights. They didn't like how he got renominated, so they created their own party of the Dixiecrats. They nominated Strom Thurmond, the governor of South Carolina, as their nominee for president. Thurmond and the Dixiecrats didn't make that much of an impact outside of the South. Thurmond won the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and South Carolina. They also got a faithless elector from Tennessee. But this would lead to the pro-segregationist party of the American Independent Party 20 years later. In 1968, George Wallace was nominated as the American Independent Party nominee. Wallace was a pro-segregationist, and his policies weren't liked by the mainstream Democrat Party. And in the South, Wallace was very well liked. He was the former governor of Alabama. He knew that he wouldn't win this election, but his goal was to make sure that the Republican and Democrat Party didn't get a majority in the Electoral College. Wallace was very successful in the South, winning Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. He was also kind of popular in the North and the Midwest, and he presumptively took a lot of votes from Hubert Humphrey. George Wallace got 46 electoral votes, and ultimately, Republican nominee Richard Nixon won. In the 1980 election, John Anderson ran as a Republican, and he obviously lost to the extremely popular governor of California, Ronald Reagan. However, he decided to run a campaign as an independent, and he was pretty popular. People didn't want to vote for him, though, because they thought that they would be wasting their vote. His policies were popular, and he actually did get 6.6% of the popular vote. He didn't win a single state, but he made an impact, and he made people consider, should we vote third party more often? And the final candidate we will be talking about is Ross Perot, probably the most influential third party candidate. He ran an independent campaign in 1992 and in 1996 a part of the Reform Party. He is the most successful modern third-party candidate run that we have experienced in American history so far. Ross Perot was able to participate in the presidential debates in 1992 because of how popular he was. There were actually some political pundits who believed that he might defeat Clinton and George Herbert Walker Bush. That didn't happen, however. He got 18.9% of the popular vote in 1992, and he didn't even win a single state, but he made an impact. there was only one state that a candidate got a majority of the vote in, and that was in Arkansas, Bill Clinton's home state. He ran again in 1996, and he wasn't as successful this time because the media didn't give him enough traction. In this run, he created his own party called the Reform Party, and he got 8.4% of the popular vote in the 1996 election. But what he did in 1992 will live on forever. And there you go. Those are some influential third-party candidates that we have seen throughout American history. Which ones do you think I should have included? And do you think those honorable mentions should have been talked about more? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember, tomorrow we will be releasing another episode because every day throughout the month of December until Christmas, we will be releasing a brand new YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.